Hey you guys, how's it going? My name is Jeff. Welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we're gonna do a recap of my ETF challenge portfolio. A portfolio of 5 ETFs that I have decided to invest in this year. Just a quick reminder before we get started, this is not financial advice. I'm just providing this information to help you guys understand my own investing journey and this portfolio. I'm speculating on how this portfolio of ETFs might perform in the future. So what I decided I wanted to do this year is to try and beat the market, right? So like, who doesn't want to beat the market, right? Everybody's trying to. But I decided to take a different approach. Now, usually I select stocks. I do a lot of reading and research and try to pick the stocks that I think are going to do best, not only this year, but several years, going into the future. And what I decided this year is that's going to be really hard for me to do, because especially this year, because there's so many variables and there's so much that I don't know about companies, about the economy, about inflation, etc., etc. So what I decided is that instead of just going and buying stocks, what I would do is buy shares of ETFs. And I wanted to choose 5 ETFs that are based on my own understanding. So, sectors of the economy where I have an interest and that I want to be invested and that I think might have a chance at doing better than most stocks in the next years. And I thought I'll just focus on a few ETFs that I understand well and buy a portfolio of 5. So anyways, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the 5 that I own. I'm going to tell you how they've performed so far. Now, granted, we're only 2 weeks into the new year, 2023, yet I still think there's something that we can learn from looking at these results and at least seeing, what's going on so far. So the first ETF is AVUV, which is the Avantis US Small Cap Value ETF. Ticker symbol AVUV. The return so far, 8.03% return. Now this is a small cap ETF and it's a value ETF. Now I'm just pointing out, I'm going to get on with the rest of the ETFs, but what I'm pointing out here is this first ETF is 20% of the portfolio, right? Because I own 5 ETFs, 20%. So right off the bat, this is 20% into small caps. Okay. The next ETF is VHT, the Vanguard Healthcare ETF, and that returned 1.51% so far, which is not too shabby. That's pretty good, considering we're only a couple weeks into this year, but it's nothing like the AVUV return of 8.03. The third ETF is VGT. This is a tech ETF. It's called the Vanguard Information Technology ETF. And that has returned 6.79%, which is just blazing so far. I mean, 2 weeks into the year, it's up almost 7%. The fourth ETF, VB, which is the Vanguard Small Cap ETF, and the return on that is 8.09. So that's just about the same return as AVUV, the Avantis US Small Cap Value ETF. So now what I want to point out is this VB is also 20% of this portfolio. So when you combine VB with AVUV, 40% of my portfolio is investing only in small cap stocks. And why does that matter? Well, I want to outperform the stock market, the overall, like the S&P 500 this year. I'd like to outperform it. I consider 2% to be a successful outperformance, or 3% would be just excellent. If it were to perform 5% more than the S&P, that would just be amazing. But anyways, back to my 40%, this is small caps. The S&P 500 invests 2% in small caps. So of those 500 companies, 2% are considered small caps, but it is a large cap index. So what I'm doing is making a big bet that small cap companies are really going to break out and do well coming out of this, whatever you want to call this, an economic situation we're in here. But I think small caps are going to do well, and I've got 40% in small caps compared to 2% for the S&P 500. And just wrapping things up here, the fifth and final ETF in my portfolio is VTV. That's the Vanguard Value ETF. I really like this ETF. It invests in just the kind of companies that I would invest in if I were buying stock this year. Berkshire Hathaway is the #1 holding. I also really like Eli Lilly and Company, and that is also one of the top 10 holdings of VTV. And the return is 3.90, not too shabby. So when you add all those up, the total return so far 2 weeks into this new year is 5.32%, 5.32%. So there you have it, 5 ETFs that I've invested in. The total return so far 2 weeks into the year is 5.32%. And I'm very happy with that. The overall S&P 500 is up 4.64%. But I do want to know what you do find interesting. And so please put in the comments any opinions, any thoughts, any comments that you have, and especially any questions that you guys have about ETFs, about investing in stocks. Put them in the comment section. I also come up with video ideas based on the kinds of things that you put in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please tap the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.